What's going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about the buffs and changes I've made to Magneton and Magnezone in my ROM hack Pokemon Scrambled Scarlet. After you're done with this video, you can check out the Sandy Shocks video, which will be out in about 15 minutes from uploading this one. So if you're watching as soon as I upload it, shout out to you, by the way. I appreciate you coming back to my channel. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel. Hello. This ROM hack heavily reworks every single Pokemon, pretty much every facet of the game. All the moves are reworked and put into these cool new categories and stuff. So it's a lot, but it's stick around. It's really cool, and I highly recommend that you give everything else a look after this video. Also, most importantly, if you're new here, I recommend you pause the video. Don't click off and click the links in the description just yet, because that'll mess up the watch time. And I would appreciate if you didn't do me like that. But if you give the description a read, I've got bullet point lists that'll kind of explain the basics of the ROM hack and the way I approach balancing and why it's all balanced the way it is. So give that a little read, and then when you're done, you can check out the Google Sheet link down below in the description. As you see on screen, I've got the move guide and all this other crap that you can check out. And you can also join my Discord and check out the other videos. So here's a brief flash of Sandy Shocks on screen right now. Again, he'll have his own video fully examining how he works. But as for Magneton and Magnezone, the obvious thing is levitate. And yes, I don't even know if in competitive it would be that busted, to be honest. Probably not. Yeah, levitate is obviously very, very useful and very fitting. And in a ROM hack where nothing else is buffed or changed, then yeah, Magnezone with levitate is pretty crazy because it just kind of walls a lot of stuff, whatever. But in a ROM hack where everything is buffed and changed and given cool new tools and things to work with, it's not really as crazy. It is very good, and obviously it makes perfect sense. It's a very common ability that people give to it. So Magneton is optionally balanced to be kept as an option over Magnezone. The reason that Magnemite and Magneton don't have Galvanize is because there are no good Galvanize options besides Swift and Terra Blast up until you get Tri-Attack. Obviously, these guys don't really make much sense to learn Hyper Voice or anything, so Terra Blast is like cool and all with Galvanize, but just like Thunderbolt is like not that much weaker, so I don't know, there's no real point, honestly. Lightning Rod is much more useful because yes, you do resist electric, but getting a free special attack boost is very good. Not to mention, just because you resist something doesn't mean that you're not taking not a lot of damage from it, especially in a ROM. If you're fighting a late game Iono or some shit and she's firing off like super powerful terrain boosted attacks, then it's nice to have that Lightning Rod. And Sturdy, despite the fact that yes, they are extremely tanky with the Violite, is very nice to have nonetheless. Another benefit of keeping Magneton is that it is very good with Choice Scarf. Magnezone's Choice Scarf speed tier is much more underwhelming, but 75 base speed with Choice Scarf in-game is outspeeding a very good amount of stuff. You are outspeeding 357, which is over 110 base speed tier, with the neutral speed nature of Magneton, so that's very good. Definitely worth keeping for that right as well. Of course, he is weaker than both Sandy Shocks and Magnezone. In fact, I chose Sandy Shocks' special attack stat based on a midway point between Magnezone's 145 and Magneton's 120, because the halfway point between that is 132.5, so 133. And Sandy Shocks, of course, has his own advantages, which I'll cover in his video. He is also still very tanky. I mean, if you round up his bulk, if you round his bulk around, it's 90, 100, 100. Obviously 87, 103, 103. It's very bulky overall, and it's also much faster. He can abuse Scarf, the best of all three of them. He also has Volt Rush shared with Magnezone. So Magnezone's defensive typing is obviously better on paper, but Sandy Shocks does have some unique attributes that Magnezone doesn't have. Magneton does share the electric immunity, but Magnezone doesn't. And while Magnezone does share Volt Rush, it is of course much slower, but you can argue that is definitely better because you're slow, but plus 2 speed is outspeeding everything with base 60 in game. I'll show you for proof. It's you're outspeeding, you're hitting 416, which is like, yeah, literally anything with 140 speed or below, you're outspeeding. So, or 139 or below, which is like the vast majority of the entire game. So pretty much the whole game you're outspeeding. Obviously Magnezone itself is very, very tanky, but Magneton with the Violet is bulkier. I also did some cool math, math autism with the numbers. So 20 HP Magnemite triples to 60 HP Magneton, 15 attack triples to 45. Obviously I can't do that for all the stats because it just doesn't work out, but it's cool for the HP and the attack. Defense and special defense gets plus 10 each time they evolve, so that's another cool little pattern for stats. I do this for all mons, by the way. Like, I really put probably too much effort into like making the stats look cool and look nice and have cool numbers and make sense for the Pokemon, but sometimes I remember to mention it in the videos, other times I don't. But yes, they do follow a pattern. So that's all really cool. And yeah, again, Sandy Shocks has that Galvanize shared with Magnezone as well, but of course their typing is different, and Sandy Shocks can, slap on Scarf, Tri-Attack, Galvanize, and shit, which is insane. So they get Tri-Attack pretty early, 47 and 50, I believe, respectively. Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm gonna try not to talk about Sandy Shocks too much. I just want to compare them a bit because again, the choice is a real one because they are comparable. But Magnezone is much tankier overall, but not that Sandy Shocks is frail. And a Magnezone needs Volt Rush to be fast, while Sandy Shocks doesn't. Levitate's obviously great. Galvanize is really cool with Tri-Attack. As you can see on the screen, it says it's a 3-hit move, right? So with Galvanize, Tri-Attack becomes a 128 base power multi-hit move, so that's incredible. And then you've got Hyper Beam, which is a fucking nuke. So Zap Cannon is also a nuke, and you can use that with Levitate or Galvanize, or Levitate or Volt Rush, which is great. But Hyper Beam, so Zap Cannon is 140 base power. It's essentially Electric type Draco Meteor. Meanwhile, Hyper Beam is 180 base power with Galvanize, and it's the same thing. It's Draco Meteor. So incredible. High power. You could just slap on a Quick Claw, or even 60 base speed with Scarf is definitely usable. It's just not that good, but you can definitely outspeed some decently quick Pokemon. Like if you're fighting the AI, you do outspeed base 90. At 92 and below, you outspeed. So that's not bad, For certain boss fights, you might want to run a Scarf Magnezone once in a while. Of course, you still got your good old, body press and all that shit. Coverage-wise, I do think it's pretty fitting to keep their coverage relatively underwhelming. Of course, they get Terra, so that's one thing. Random, RNG Terra. And then you've also got high base power moves, so you don't really need that much coverage anyway. But Dazzling Gleam, I think, makes sense, given that they're like this magnet. And then Psychic Noise also, I think, makes a lot of sense. So those are the two. Both of those are 85 base power. So you get 85 base power coverage there. You've also got Body Press, and then you've got Power Gem, which is also really nice. And then Meteor Beam / Electro Shot in terrain is fucking crazy. I could probably push Meteor Electro Shot a bit later, but it's a tough call. I think maybe I could do like something like this, maybe. So I do want Meteor Beam to get some usage before Electro Shot. Let me go to the game files. Oh god, I'll just type it in chat because I don't want to open everything up right now. Short Circuit, Electro Shot, Magnezone swapped. Okay. That's just a note for myself, so I don't forget to put that in the actual game. But yeah, obviously Parabolic Charge is super good. They've also got Reliable Recovery and Fortify. And I actually get them Recharge later because I think Recharge is incredible on them. Because Recharge, while it does heal less, it gives you that offensive boost from either Parabolic or Shockwave, Priority, or any other electric move you want to click after the fact, after you heal. So Recharge is insane. That's why it's at level 25. You've got 60 base power Electro Web for the early game, and then 45 base power Priority Shockwave on Magnemite. And you don't get any Steel Stab until Flash Cannon. That's just the nature. That's just the nature of the real games. You can argue I could slap on Flash Cannon as a level up move in niche cases like this, because I really don't like having overlap between TMs and level up moves, because level up moves are already crowded enough. But this guy doesn't get many level up moves anyways. And then also, it would be nice to have a Flash Cannon TM. I might do that now, but let me check what the average again is. It's 3 badges, because you've still got your Electric Stab anyway and coverage, so it's not a big deal. But 3 badges. Wait, 3? Yeah, 3 badges. Average level 28. You'll be fine. The latest you're waiting for Flash Cannon is level 30. You'll be fine. That's fine. I could slap it on at like 25 maybe. Let me see again. Like Evolution or something. Yeah, why not? Whatever. I'll slap it on there, just so you can get it guaranteed earlier on for the stab. Niche case, special. That's just the special steel types. They might get Flash Cannon by level up if they're an early game mon. Not too many of those anyway, but to Magneton. All right, sorry, I'm doing a lot of stuff I should have done earlier, but yeah. So in Volt Rush, so of course either manual electric terrain or setting it up with somebody else is incredible. You can just click electric terrain itself. You don't need an electric surge mon in game. It's pretty easy to abuse terrain without that. Obviously, if you have it, it's even better, but it's not like it's a big deal. And then Rising Voltage goes crazy in Volt Rush. And then, you've got your coverage, you got your Terra, you got all this good stuff. Even Body Press with no investment can still one-shot, things that are weak to it, because you've just got such a naturally good defense stat. So that's very good. Oh, I should probably cover the magnet. Dude, I feel like if you're 9 minutes in, if you're 10 minutes in, you definitely know the magnet pull shit. Obviously, it's a useless ability in an in-game context. In a ROM hack context, it's useless. The AI isn't switching out, so it's just not good. Yeah, sadly, I know competitively varying players might be upset, but anybody who's 10 minutes in hopefully isn't that. So Yeah, Metal Sound's great debuffing. So early game you've got Screech, which drops Pedef and defense by -2. You've got Volt Switch TM for pivoting around. You've got Overdrive, which is just like reliable 75 base power electric move for mid game. For early mid game, Parabolic obviously is, well, Parabolic is 60 base power, but it heals you by 75% of damage now. So that's an incredible heal move on these guys. You know, you can just spam that a bunch with like Levitate to wall some things out and heal a bunch. Metal Sound is great, that drops special attack and special defense by -2. So at Strange Impulse at level 15 is essentially Special Charm. It comes from Eerie Impulse, but Metal Sound is even better. It's a better version. Although Strange Impulse has 2 PP and Metal Sound only has 1, so keep that in mind. You could even run both if you need to. You also got, you know, your Mirror Coat Metal Burst stuff for some cheese. Thunder Cage is a cool move. It's 95 power. I guess I should have listed that as one of the exclusives here, but I don't really care enough. It's 95 power, 100% accurate. It's basically a better T-Bolt. It also deals some chip damage. It's exclusive to only flying types that can, not flying types, electric types that can like fly up into the air like that. The reason Magneton doesn't get it is because then Sandy Shocks would get it. And obviously that doesn't make any sense for Sandy Shocks to use because his whole thing is being grounded. But yeah, Steel Beam is insane with Volt Rush, so if you get that Volt Rush speed boost in terrain, you click that Steel Beam, you don't even have to run Power Herb, man. You just take half your health and you get a +1 boost and you one-shot whatever's in front of you, and now you're going crazy with +1 special attack and double speed in terrain. You've got your rising voltage and your coverage and stuff, so that's super, super good. Obviously, like flavor-wise, you can argue like stuff like Aura Sphere, Focus Blast fits them fine. I would even be inclined to agree with you, but like even like Eternal Beam you could throw on there. But I think it's kind of cool just for Magnezone to not have that much coverage. So he still has a good amount. It's just not like insane, you know. So that's why I chose not to give him those moves, even though you can argue they do kind of make sense enough, at least in this context. At least they make sense. Electro Ball is pretty good. It's a bulky mon, so you can just spam Electro Ball, recharge a bunch. Electro Ball will give you +1 speed each time you click it, and obviously that makes it become stronger and stronger, and it lets you boost your speed and all that good shit. So that's great. Tri-Attack is also super early, by the way, because I wanted them to actually have a reason to use Galvanize up until the late game. And Tri-Attack, you know, 127 power move at level 47 that also breaks sashes is huge, super huge. High Voltage is simple, Electric type Wicked Blow, special, pretty good with like Volt Rush, although if you're running Volt Rush you'd want Rising Voltage. So it's mostly just like a reliable, you know, 100% accurate, strong electric move for like Levitate sets or something. Downside being that you can't click it twice in a row. So if you're running like a faster set or something, you would want to run a different move. Or if you're running like a faster set that wants to get 2 kills in a row, even then though you have 4 move slots, you could run High Voltage into like another electric move too. So yeah, you got tons of options. Obviously Volt Switch, great pivoting, Shockwave, great priority, other great utility stuff. You know, you could set up some weather and Volt Switch out, whatever it is, whatever you needed to do for that boss fight. But overall, very straightforward. Make sure you check out the Sandy Shocks video after this one. I guess I can quickly chill Magneton a bit more because I do think it is really cool to keep over Magnezone. Again, it's much bulkier with a Violite. However, without a Violite, Magnezone is much bulkier, and Magnezone is stronger, and it has that Volt Rush option, while Magneton relies on Scarf to be fast. So it's kind of like pick and choose, you know? It's up to you. Not to mention Sandy Shocks can also abuse the Scarf really well, and Volt Rush, so it's like the fastest of all 3 of them. So yeah, super cool stuff. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you made it to the end, and check out the Sandy Shocks video. Peace.